off today with changing our headlights on the S2RV chassis. As you'll see in the upcoming video, what I ended up doing was changing the bulbs. Instead of changing the entire bucket, it's going to give you the same brightness, it's going to give you the same look going down the road, and it's going to be a much cheaper alternative to just changing the bulbs themselves instead of changing the entire bucket. You're probably looking at about $100. I'll put a link down below about what I got compared to changing the buckets, where you're looking at about $500 or $600. So as you can see, this is after the fact. Again, it's going to use the same bucket. It's going to change the bulbs. You got a high beam and low beam in there. We're not doing anything with the side markers. And then also went ahead and added the driving lights and fog lights, so I can put a link below on those as well. Nice part with this setup with the driving lights and fog lights is I really didn't have to drill any new holes at all. Use the existing mount hardware that came with the lights and didn't have to change anything. The only hole that I had to drill was to get into the cab with the wiring. So there's actually a spot that's going to allow you to drill a hole right there that's going to let you get into the cab and be able to mount the hardware for the switches. Pretty simple operation. As long as you can get power and ground. Ground's easy enough to find. The power, I went back all the way to the battery box and direct from the battery with a 20 amp fuse. So go ahead and go through the video and show you how we set it up. Changing the entire bucket, you're probably looking at about $700 with these Terminator LEDs. Got these off Amazon. They're about $120. And one thing you will notice with the Freightliner, it's a two bulb system, so it's a 9006 and a 9005. Pretty simple to do. Lift the hood. You will lift up this flap and remove the headlight bucket. So if you could do it just with the bulbs, but it's going to be easier if you take the bucket completely off, go to a workbench someplace, and be able to take your time. Things that you'll need is a adjustable wrench, 10mm wrench, and then a T30 head to be able to take out the one bolt that's up here, and then the two 10mm right here. So go ahead and get started, and takes honestly about 10 minutes per headlight. So today we're going to be installing LED headlights on this Freightliner chassis. Pretty simple, easy to do, much cheaper to go with LED headlights instead of changing the entire bucket. These wire looms are held on with a connector. You're just going to pull those wire looms off, take your 10mm wrench, two bolts, two nuts at the bottom, just loosen those up. If they start to turn on you, there's bolts, a couple nuts underneath there. You grab those with your adjustable wrench, hold those while you take these off, and then you're also going to need that T20. Take off one bolt that's up here in the front. They are torqued on pretty good. When you go to put them on, just be careful. It is plastic. You don't want to break it. And if you do, guess what? You're spending $700 for a new bucket. Take off the two lower nuts, 2 washers. Set all of that to the side. Two plugs. Pull the tab back, pull off. And from there, it just, the whole bucket lifts right up out of there. Once you get on a workbench, or in this case a picnic bench, because I'm at a campground this week, you'll see a cover here. You turn that cover, pop that off. Here's your 2 bulbs. What you're going to want to do is turn those, and they will slide out. And the bottom one as well. If they're a little bit tight, you don't want to pull on too much. What you want to do is get in there and take off these 3 screws that are holding this tight. Loosen those just a tiny bit and you'll be able to turn that. So if you get to the point where these are a little too tight, just take your star wrench. It's T10, and just loosen that up just a hair. Pull that out as well. Now, one thing that you will notice is they are different in size and circumference on how they set in the housing. So it's pretty hard not to put the right bulb in the right place. You'll see that in this case they're marked blue and yellow with the tag here. It also gives you the number here at 9006. So if you're not sure, just remove the bulb by unplugging it, and you'll see a 9006 on there. It's kind of hard to see right now, but it's 9006. And then again, because the bulbs are going to be a different size, the larger one's not going to fit in this housing, so it's pretty easy to figure out which one they go into. And it's as simple as pushing them into place, turning them, and you should be good. Now, one thing I will say is when you put them in, you're putting them in horizontally, and then you're going to turn them clockwise, so that the bulbs and the filament for the LED, you got one at the top, one at the bottom, and they will sit in like this. So you're putting them in this case on a 90-degree angle, and then you're just going to turn it to where they're straight up and down. You'll also see tabs on here that will fit in there. So it'll only go in one way.
You can turn it in there till it's locked.
And then you just repeat the process with the bottom one. So if you need to do this, it's 9006 that's going to go to the top, and then now 9005, and again they're going to be marked here in 9005 and 9006. So 9005 at the bottom, 9006 at the top. They're only going to fit one way. Go in there, turn it till it's locked, and remember to tighten up those star screws. Again, plastic, don't over tighten them. And what this is going to do is going to give you some two-face tape put it on your ballast here, and then tuck this ballast back underneath of the housing, one on either side. And from there you put the plug back, or the cap back on, plug them in, and reinstall them.
Really? This one here looks like she got the race here. What? Looks like she got the race here. Huh? Yeah. Pretty, she got beautiful eyes. Yeah. Good.
As you can see, folks, pretty straightforward. A couple bolts, a couple nuts, replace a couple bulbs, pop the buckets back in, and now you have LEDs. At this price point, all these coaches should have LEDs. The reality of it is that's not always the case. This is a cheaper alternative. It's going to give you good visibility as you go down the road, not only with the high beams and low beams, but also with the fog lights and driving lights. Appreciate you taking the time to watch and tune in. Please like and subscribe the video. Thank you.